Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP. And I gotta start with this from James Roll XRP. Warning, these scamming bastards are sending emails to scare you into sharing your private information. Do not click on any links. Do not share private info, passwords, recovery, seed phrases, etc. Notice the sender's email address, ledger@hotelcom.live. And I'm going to share with you every single scam out there. None of you are going to lose your crypto. I'm going to make you aware of every single scam. There's a lot of these scams going around as well. Do not share any information or click on any links. And stop interacting with the bots in the comment section. I stress this. I see it happening every single day. Nobody's giving you an airdrop. Nobody's going to send you a number for you to text back and forth. Those are all scams as well. There's so many scams out there. I don't want any of you to lose your crypto. I want to get rich with every single one of you. Don't lose your crypto now. Next green achieved. Here's what we have to look forward to as XRP holders. What's coming that could impact the price of XRP, RLUSD, Alicia, tokenized real world asset, US Treasury bills on the XRP ledger, lawsuit ended, all banks in Japan use XRP, institutional money coming into XRP, Trump pump, ETFs and ETP, acceptance on X, Amazon, etc. Ripple IPO, primary liquidity bridge for all cross-border payments worldwide. That's when XRP goes live on all those rails. Tokenization of $1 quadrillion in derivatives. Basel III, ISO 222, NDAs disclosed, G7 endorsement, DeFi opportunities, stablecoins and CBDCs come to the XRP ledger. Primary bridge between BRICS and the West. Hooks expanding and moving to native. ETH tanks. Bitcoin tanks from Tether implosion. A lot of people think that ETH is going to tank because a lot of people are going to get arrested. I've heard that talked about multiple times. Once it happens, I'll cover it on this channel. For now, it's still speculation. XRP NR1 market cap. Jim Cramer says it's a scam. IMF approves using XRP. World Bank approves, uses XRP. BIS approves, uses XRP. RLUSD backed by metals and hard assets. US Treasury issues new notes against USD and RLUSD. A lot of this is going to happen in the short term. The lawsuit coming to a complete end. All the banks in Japan using XRP. We're waiting for big announcements coming out of Japan early 2025. Institutional adoption will come with regulations. The day Trump takes the White House, I think that's going to be a green day for all of crypto. Then we'll look at the ETFs and Ripple's IPO. And so on. But this is what we're waiting on for XRP. And all of this is a catalyst that could send XRP higher. Boom. Brad Garlinghouse says XRP and Bitcoin will surpass gold and diamonds as futures' most valuable assets. Take a listen.
Digital assets broadly are in a position to be more useful than gold as a value transfer and a value store. And I think Ripple has benefited really for two reasons to not have seen XRP have XRP as a more stable digital asset. One is, I think we're really solving a real world use case It's not just about speculators. It's not just about really, Ethereum has kind of run up on something called ICOs, or initial coin offerings. That there's some regulatory concerns about that. And I think the second thing that has driven it is, I think, there really has been a lot of drama about some of the other digital assets. Bitcoin has kind of had a civil war within the Bitcoin community about what the future of the technology looks like. Even within the Ethereum community, you're talking about an asset, or the technology only allows about 16 transactions per second. When we think about what we're doing at Ripple and around payments, we're thinking about thousands and thousands of transactions per second.
There's a few problems with Ethereum. It's the lack of how many transactions per second that can be processed, but it's also the fees on Ethereum. With Bitcoin, we know about that it's never going to be utilized for payments, not the way that XRP is going to be utilized. But the drama he's talking about in the Bitcoin community, there's multiple types of drama. You have a lot of OG Bitcoin holders that have been holding for years. And then all of a sudden, BlackRock comes on board with the ETFs. And I think a lot of the OG Bitcoin holders, they didn't like the idea of that, because they thought that, well, BlackRock's just going to continue to manipulate the price of Bitcoin. And that could very well happen. But I think they also got to look down the road for Bitcoin. And there's future problems coming. Quantum computers could be one of those problems. Beyond that, also mining is talked about a lot, and how much energy consumption is happening as well. That's why the road for XRP is so much clearer than it is for Bitcoin and Ethereum. If you need any more proof on how banks are fabricating deposits via playing ping pong with cash between each other to hide their liquidity hemorrhage, here you have it. No, you aren't having hallucinations. U.S. banks alone lost $1 trillion in the past 9 months. A lot of you ask me if there's still going to be the problems with the banks in 2025. I think that liquidity crisis that we've talked about multiple times, that's still looming. And I still think they're going to consolidate the banks ahead of a CBDC, because you're not going to onboard all of these banks to CBDC. It's easier to consolidate all the banks into a handful of much bigger banks, like you see here. First JP Morgan coin, then CBDC. Whether it's intentional or emergent, this is indeed what's happening. A backdoor nationalization of the banking system. Blue Tribe is killing Gray Tribe banks and Red Tribe banks, which are regionals, to consolidate all the assets at the too big to fail banks, especially JP Morgan. Then they roll out FedNow. Even if it's not a CBDC, it's a central bank digital control, with every transaction choke pointed through them. I think what's going to happen is the banks are going to be consolidated, and then they're going to talk about a United States stablecoin. They'll call it like a digital dollar stablecoin. That will be your CBDC. But I think we're going to see the bank crisis first, that massive liquidity crisis. And they're going to need something to solve that problem. The solution can easily be XRP. It provides on-demand liquidity. There's a lot of talk about ESDRs, and a lot of you said to me, what is that? So I'm going to try to break it down in very simple terms. Just like the necessary capabilities of an ESDR, XRP can transfer any form of value, fiat currencies, gold, securities, contracts, barrels of oil, hours of electricity, services, etc., with instant settlement and unlimited liquidity. ESDR's intrinsic value can be tied to a basket of commodity traded goods, such as precious metals, oil, natural gas, etc. This pegged basket of goods will become the new gold standard. Whenever they're talking about an SDR, the IMF mentioned multiple times that retail can now hold an ESDR. They expanded the use cases on SDRs, and they're still working on that as well. But we're not at that point yet where XRP, it can be seen as an ESDR. Will that evolve over time? It's very likely because of what's going on with the IMF. They always pictured XRP and XLM as high-valued stablecoins. Well, an SDR is also stable, and it's utilized by the IMF. IMF demands El Salvador change its Bitcoin law in return for a $1.4 billion loan. And like I said early on, El Salvador needs the IMF because this is what the IMF does. They're tied to 191 countries and they promote international trade. They reduce poverty, fostering monetary cooperation, securing financial stability, promoting sustainable economic growth, and high employment. What they do is they help all of these struggling countries. El Salvador owes the IMF a lot of money, and they're always going to the IMF for even more money. But that shows you that the IMF does not look at Bitcoin as having any value. If they're telling El Salvador, listen, we're going to give you the money, but we're not going to have you talking about Bitcoin. We're not going to have you transacting in Bitcoin. It's not feasible. And that's why they push them away from Bitcoin if they want the money from the IMF. Later, this will be traded through SDR. The IMF also has strong ties to the UN. The United Nations Capital Development Fund endorses Ripple and Stellar as cornerstones of the new global payments network. Everyone will use XRP and XLM. Take a listen.
All of the existing networks. And, this is kind of what it would look like.
And that graphic right there looks like something that we have seen before, where you have XRP as a massive liquidity pool in between countries.
It's not a new system, but it connects existing systems. So no matter whether it is incumbents like Swift, Visa, MasterCard, or some of the newer networks like Ripple, Stellar, Celo, a payment should be able to go from one to another. So we see this happening in 3 phases. The first is account addressing. So this is a global directory that would allow you to address a payment in the same way you have an email address. The second is tokenized compliance, reducing or rather finding efficiencies in compliance to reduce the cost. And the third is real-time settlement.
Like I said, everybody wants the same thing, real-time payments. They don't want to wait days for money to go from one country to another. And they want to move that money as cheap as they possibly can. That's why they will utilize XRP and RippleNet, or Stellar and XLM. And the world already sees this as the future. That's why I tell you, you're invested in the future right now, because you're invested in XRP. Then there's this. Saylor encourages people to destroy their Bitcoin keys before they die, describing it as a pro rata contribution to all Bitcoin holders worldwide. Thank God this is not a cult. That sounds a hell of a lot like a cult, but yet they have the nerve to say that XRP holders are one massive cult. In the XRP community, one thing I've noticed over time, every single XRP holder wants to help someone else. They don't want to destroy their XRP if they were to die. They want to leave it to a family member. They want to enrich their family members as well. I see so many people saying, I just want to buy my family their first house. I just want to help out my parents. I want to help my sister, my brother, whoever. Or I want to start a business. And then I'm going to leave that business to my children and my grandchildren. I always told people, you could get generational wealth from XRP. You could always hand your XRP down to your children. They could hand it down to your grandchildren. That's generational wealth. But to encourage people to destroy their Bitcoin keys before they die, that sounds a lot like a cult to me. How about you? Put it in the comment section down below. And let me tell you something. Michael Saylor, he's been off the rails. This guy wants the United States to get rid of all the gold, sell it off, and buy Bitcoin. Think about that. At a time where every other country is stockpiling gold, and they're going to a gold-backed currency. Breaking, Amazon pledges $1 million for inauguration. Same thing with Zuckerberg. He donates $1 million to Trump's inaugural fund. Imagine that. All of a sudden, the tide has turned. And I think it's because they know that Trump is going to push this country ahead like never before. At a time where we just been through 4 years of nonstop government spending outside of the United States, I think now, finally, the United States is going to get put back on track. And I think a lot of people know that's going to happen. Same thing with Bezos and Zuckerberg. They want to be on board. You know, this time, it's going to be incredible because innovation and crypto is going to push ahead like never before. That's why you want to hold your XRP. You don't want to sell it. If you sell your XRP, the whales are going to buy it up. The institutions are going to be buying it up. You beat the institutions here for the first time in history. I urge you not to sell your XRP too soon. And until it all happens, stay patient, stay positive, and we will get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.